to start setting up the next game.
All right, let's jump into it. We go back to Erangel for match number 3. Only 2 more teams. That's it. That's all that could qualify for the grand finals here at PGC 2022. I mean, we've got 1 APAC, 1 EU. Are we going to get an NA? Are we going to get an Asia? Only time will tell.
Well, I don't know. This is going to be rough. Okay, time to call your shot on chat right now. Say, this is the team that I think is going to go forward, at least in this round or the next. You know, sometimes they always want us to put, like, our money where our mouth is and, like, make calls, stuff like that. It's your turn, chat.
That's right. That's right, chat. Get in there and let us know who you like. Who do you like? You know what? I'm going to make you put your money where your mouth is. You just, you know, ask this of chat. I feel it's only fair.
I'm going to probably betray my region and say that I think that I want to see FaZe go. After what Diggory just did in that last one, I think that you can tell.
They deserve it, dude. They've been playing so good. I'm right there with you. I'd like...
Also Burrow, man. I love Burrow.
BBL. I know, we all love Burrow. BBL, too. It's so hard to choose, right? I mean, I almost want to see the Donuts just because that was such a devastating grenade. I mean, that grenade ended the round for them.
Yeah, well, nah. So you can keep on that track. I mean,
okay.
I'll give you BGP, though. I'll give you BGP.
Well, I mean, obviously, I want to see BGP.
I know, of course, you want to see BGP.
Yeah.
You're a big PO fanboy.
Yes,
I know.
of course, yes.
As everybody should.
Everybody should be, yes.
So we've now made our way over towards Erangel. Plane path just bisected right through the middle of the map. Through, see how we're going. The drops coming out. BBL is going to be playing over to the west. You can see making a rotation in. T5 looks like they're already hopping in vehicles, and they're going to head that western direction. Circle is going to go very hard to the north, and a couple of cheers and happy sounds coming out of the players.
I think that was a Tropic.
They probably would be the ones making it.
Let out that whoop. So yeah, this is, you know, it's hard to say for sure what the next couple of circles are going to look like, other than it's extremely likely to end north of the river. So, you know, you're going to see tons of teams start angling for those positions. Tianba, South George looting team, so that's where they are going to be angling for. Maybe they'll go up into North George since they know nobody else will. It's pretty unlikely that anybody else will be up there to kind of split the loots, maybe save a little bit of time on that. We'll see exactly how they want to do it. Actually, I could see that they're sending one over to the quads across the bridge. So they're going to, yeah, they're already splitting up their loot. They're already trying to get as much position in this circle as they can.
Entropic better be careful. While they are doing their looting, they are very separated. What, about 1.5 kilometers spread out all amongst themselves from Severny all the way down to just north of Razak? That could be a problem for anybody that's going to be sending it in. So hopefully we see them regroup quite quickly, as now we are going to see T5 that are going to be playing to the west of them. They've got the Stalber stretch all the way down to right next to Severny. So these are kind of our only 2 teams that really feeling comfortable in position. Yes, we do have Donut. No, actually, we've got looking through Petrichor Road as well as New Happy. USG also inside the circle, but not in the comfortable spot. Everybody, I think, is going to want to be north of that river, like you were talking about.
Yeah, definitely, if you can help it. Some of the latecomers like GEX, like Bagelpaw, like FaZe, teams that, you know, are willing to take those late entries into circles, probably might have to end up settling on the south side of the river potentially. I don't expect Bagelpaw to. I expect them to come in from the west side, most likely. But we'll just see. And I think it's pretty interesting here, Matrim, to watch how these teams are willing to cut loot for positioning right now. You know, you're seeing it with the Donuts. You're seeing it with Teraton 5. You're seeing it with, like you pointed out earlier, with Entropic. We've seen it with Tianba now, that everybody is, you know, New Happy here probably is pretty decently looted. But everybody else that was in kind of the sparse land, you know, or sparse compound locations up in the north, they're playing for position, not loot.
Well, here comes the collapses in right now, as it's going to be BBL following right behind here. No firm traps set up just yet, but gonna just go ahead and let 77 open up the path. You know, if anybody shoots at him, then they know where to go.
Yeah, it's fine. That's what the motorcycle's for. It's basically just a bullet magnet that you're testing the waters with, and yeah, 77 just gonna get ahead of BBL. So far, we thank the PUBG gods that BBL has not had any weird things happen in the beginning of the game. We're so far so good.
Boy, you about to cast curse them so hard.
Look, if I do, I'm going to feel bad.
Yeah, just letting everybody in that region know, if it ends up happening, it's his fault, not mine.
My fault? Okay. I'll take the blame.
To do with it.
I'll take the blame.
So, early rotators, we can see they're already going in, trying to get controls of these areas. It's pretty much the Western Bridge. That's where everybody is going, as we can see that SGD is also on this path. again, the traps for winner chicken dinner not going to be something that people are really going to want to commit to at this stage. So I guess this is one of the easier ways to path through. This one, Petrichor Road's also going to be coming through here in a second. Buriram probably as well, as that's just going to be the high traffic area, I think.
Yeah, I would say there's only 3 teams that I would even like remotely consider as a threat for setting up some kind of weird trap. SGD is one of them. Tyloo, just because of kind of their nature. They seem very laissez-faire. They seem very, very devil-may-care. And then Polish Power, just because they're Polish Power. Like, those are the 3 that I'm like, you guys might do that.
Buriram doesn't make your list?
Well, I think, and the reason they don't is because I think they have enough kind of experience at these globals and at these types of events, and how, at times unfortunate winner chicken dinner had gone for them previously. I don't think they'll do that.
I doubt it either. They're going to set a trap after a trap.
But you know what? You're right. I would add them to the list. I would add them to the list of a team that could do that.
I could easily see them like leaving a player behind to try to catch out a couple of kills here or there.
They're wild.
But it looks like they are going to stack together and run that route. So teams that are no longer or haven't yet made it into the safe zone yet are going to be BGP, GEX, FaZe 22, and Polish Power.
Well, you can see even SGD cut loot so fast out of Pachinki, which the plane path was right over. That you've got an M16 there floating around for them. So that's how desperate these teams are to get up into the north here and get in a position, because they know how valuable it is. They know how important it is to be, especially if this goes northeast, like towards those warehouses and stuff. There are certain compounds that are just very defendable. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, there's a couple of God compounds up there that people know about, but also there's the secondary factor is that while we've got the eye in the sky and the God's eye view of everything, they have to assume that there's a chance, due to the way that the river cuts through and all of the bridges, that somebody might lean into it. Petrichor Road, though, is going to take shots at Buriram. This is pretty far to the north, just the west of Severny. So Buriram is going to have some space to move back to the south. BBL is going to be pretty close to this, but it looks like they are going to navigate right past them, as Buriram might be setting their sights on Severny itself.
Yeah, this right here, with Buriram not pulling up onto that fight, leads me to believe that they are indeed not keen on going for any weird kind of, I guess, Buriram-esque plays. GX is just,
extra safe. This is military base.
Yeah.
There is not a team within 3 kilometers of them, and they're like,
yeah, they should. They have to. They have to. You can't afford to have some, team just want to spite you and do something like that. You never know. It could happen, and it does open up space for you. There is, if your bridge camp. Look, there is the unexpected factor, right? If somebody did bridge camp here, it would be so unbelievably unorthodox, unexpected, that nobody would even, in their right minds, expect it. So GEX has to be careful, because it's so unlikely it might be possible. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to catch your opponents off guards, surprise them, and then you might be more likely to get like a whole squad wipe. Then you have that area behind you clear. You've got a little more space to breathe.
And everybody trying to figure out, why are we watching GEX? This is the drama that is presently happening. This is it. Everybody else, except for them and BGP, as we're now going to watch them, go all the way over to the West Georgia Pole Bridge to make sure that they don't bump into anybody, but also having about kilometer and a half, maybe 2, between anybody that's going to be coming in. Just our safe players right now rolling in. This does mean that they're going to be coming in pretty close to the blue zone and going to be prepped for that second circle shift, but this is a very, very populated circle already.
Yep, 22 is going to leave 1 behind this push ahead across the Bermuda Triangle there, as they are going to get 3 over, and Gizera is going to be left as an anchor on the other side of the river, just in case. Also gives them a little bit of cover on that hill slope to the north side of the river. And Tropic, so close, so close in that last game. Those are the heartbreakers, right, Matchroom, that we were talking about. You and I were saying, like, before this, how awful it's going to feel to get second place in a game today.
Yeah, Entropic at least do have some strong compounds to play. Do center a circle. We often see Crossroads being very, very popular. They opted into not controlling both sides of Crossroads, though, but controlling the western side and the buildings just to the south to make sure that they have some more, control over that area. But that does mean that they're actually, no, I think that they just sent Nail up across. So at least being able to take some shots in. You can see FaZe also wrapping around Stalber as rotations are kind of the name. We've got GEX that's about to hit in, but for the next 30 seconds, there's not even a lot of bullets being fired. It's, I think, like Petrichor Road is taking some, maybe 300-400 meter shots into SGD just to say, hey, we're over here, don't come this direction.
You got to conserve the ammo in this format because, again, teams cutting loot. So that
last game, great example.
Exactly. You got to conserve the ammo. I mean, you can see here, Sungjong only has 106 back in his 5.56. I mean, between an M4 and a mini, you can carry much more than that. And but he might have been able to sneak in a few extra frags as well, it looks like. But still, I mean, you would expect him to have a little bit more ammo. But again, teams need to get on the move a little bit faster.
And who would have thought that this was going to be the circle? We were going to get massive shock and surprise. As you can see, almost every team already in there except for GEX and BGP. FaZe is going to go ahead and cut down that path off the stallable road. It's going to be Sonics that are taking shots at them right now. Polish Power does get some vision in. Not going to take any just yet. I think that's going to be T5. Next obstacle they're going to have to run through.
Yeah, FaZe it's going to be limited on space that's available in the middle of this, of course.
That's a big hit.
Yeah, that is a big hit from Rossita Jr., so they're going to have to settle for this doghouse in the shack.
Bravery pays off, though.
Yeah, 09. Oh, we didn't get to see it, but he hit pretty incredible shot, I assume, with this M24 Matt, because Polish Power is on the move.
Ooh, that's not the angle you want to try to use to get away, and it's going to be Luka Rux on the other side. It's going to connect in. Polish Power, you just put yourself in a pretty, I guess, desperate spot. It's going to be Marsalek goes down and gets flushed, so 2 now clinging to life on the shack that we often see be the desperation move. I mean, I have to be careful because the hillside back behind that always terrifies me because teams can just kind of sneak so close to the shack.
Yeah, and you know, it's a little easier to get in a grenade range, right? Because it's uphill. So, yeah, it's tough for Polish Power here. But, again, things are going to be very sparse.
Yeah, give it to us.
Please.
In the car.
Oh, my God. Just, you love to see it.
Look, that was such a good shot, it technically counted twice in the kill feed.
It was that good. I mean, that's one of the better bolts we've seen this tournament. That's right up there with Sparkings earlier on. So, look, this is a sparse circle, right, Matt? Like, especially the southeast quadrant of this is extremely sparse. There isn't a lot going on. So if it does shift down that way, look, there's a world where this goes okay for Polish Power, and maybe they can find some magic. But, yeah, losing too early really hurts. Every team will tell you that it's so important in the chicken dinner format to have 4 up at the end.
They're at least in the no man's land, right? That's where nobody really wants to go at this stage. So they're probably going to be left alone unless the circle comes over here. So mixed blessings that can happen off of that. BGP you can see coming in now to the southwest of the circle, going to be pretty close to Tiamba. 22 also along a similar pathing. BGP also might spot out a crate that's going to be landing just to the south of them. Already landed, can't quite tell yet. 22 probably has vision on that, so that's going to be a trap crate if you see it on the minimap there that nobody's probably going to want to go for just yet.
Yeah, so you're safe in this spot as Bagel Pa from Tianba. This hill creates, enough vision obstruction that Tianba can't do anything really unless you go way too far as BGP, which I would thoroughly be shocked if they did at this point. No one's behind them, so they can wait this out. It's a 2-2 split for Tianba, so there is some concern here that if there's a knock onto Tianba, that this could, as their first game into this event, right? They only get 2, that they could be suffering a potential fatal loss early. But it looks like Bagel Pa is not going to really want to put any pressure on them, and instead this looks like a bit of a pre-rotation. It looks like they're going to be driving in towards the center. They're going to be under fire, but they're playing for wherever this next one's going.
This is definitely playing with fire. They want to go ahead and start maneuvering in for center, waiting for this circle to pop, and it's going to happen in just a few seconds. Going to move into the north. BGP already on that track, going to be heading the path for it. Now it's going to be USG. You can see hopping in vehicles. Everybody knows it's going to be a lot of Severny Sins coming in here, and defensive lines already set up. BBL, even in shooting range, says, nah, this is not going to be good enough. They're already starting to prep their vehicles, making a run in. BGP, though, with this, is using a great opportunity. This is a good read with the circle popping in here. Everybody's already hopping inside their vehicles, so they're not even getting punished for this at all.
Well, Buriram's got to be careful. They only have 2 there on that corner. BGP's going to be driving by it. They lose Taman, DG98 on a 1 HP. If another bullet lands on him, he is done. Canaxi and Edie all alone here. They're separated by SGD, so BGP has to settle for this dip. DG does get knocked. PO Not going to run his teammate over, able to stop in time. Ty Lue might be driving into him, though.
This is an early stop at this dip, and I think a couple of teams might be venturing into it. 22 also just making crash right into Severny. Spray's going to be coming out. Gizera is going to go down, but it's going to be running right into the low ground positions for SGD. Shots already going to come out, and you can see 2 down, and now just 1 up, trying to make the runaway. He's going to go down. Vehicles and loot just delivered at SGD's doorstep.
Yeah, you can see everybody's vying for this southern tip, the southern tip of the spear of Severny, because it's one of the It's the best spot in the circle. Yeah. I'm just going to call it the priority spot, the best spot. I do not mind at all what 22 did there. That was the winning position where SGD is or where Buriram is. The winning positions in this circle, a lot of the time, I fully respect that send. That is 100% fine with me. Didn't work out. That you still got 1 more to go.
GEX is actually running a peculiar strategy where they're leaving 3 on one side and they're sending Xenon to kind of scout over to the east. New Happy also stretching in as HS is going to be the scout for position. Molotov's going to come out. Rest of the team is going to have to follow up. Tiemba also has a foothold inside the circle just to the north of shooting range, so that should allow everybody to get some type of territory to, well, it's not comfortable territory, at least something to work with.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you are in nade range in this shack, potentially from the warehouse up above you. So, but the good news is it's really difficult to get one in there, into those little windows.
Tyloo, I think, is in grenade range for BGP, but with FaZe as well as T5 and Sonics looking at them, as well as Buriram, I don't even know if they can stand up.
It's awfully close. You're right. Maybe a really good one, but I think a lot of teams are also going to be wanting to save those. I mean, you really want those in the late game for sure. So we'll see exactly what comes out of all of that. I mean, I love the pre-rotation from BGP, by the way. The way that they got in those cars and were, on their horse already.
This is kind of interesting. Shots over here in this city are just, it's going to be hard to punish, so really it's going to be res. Attrition burn, that's good. New Happy is making their run in. Xenon is finally going to start regrouping with the rest of his team. I guess he really needed to know what was happening over there, but looks like New Happy does have Jan that's gotten close, and I wouldn't be surprised if the other 2 members just kind of play along this edge, looking for that dip. Circle is going to pop, and it's still leading that Severny side, so it's going to be Petrichor Road, Tiamba, and probably Gas, but the only teams that have to move.
I'm worried about Tyloo and BGP out there. It's going to be tough to lock those positions down with so many other teams around you, potentially. New Happy trying to get up the hill, but the fan out here from Exquisite is so good. He does so much damage. Ming Ming, the star player for New Happy, is down.
Remember how we called this no man's land a second ago?
Yes.
This is why.
Yes.
Nobody really wants to make a push into this one. Everybody
sucks.
that plays PUBG knows this area and how harsh it can be. Tiemba now got to make a play, and it looks like they're going to be sending it right next to USG. USG is going to be playing inside the bunker, doesn't have vision into it, so first gauntlet's going to be passed. It's going to be EIQ after that, but then it's going to be Tyloo. It looks like they might be setting that pathing for Tyloo and BGP's angle. CPO already trying to shoo them away from it, so now cutting back into the east, it's going to be moving up along Tyloo. Not going to have vision anymore, but T5 as well as New Happy. So where are they even going to stop? Like, I don't even know what their plan is anymore.
You got to create a car fort and a dip. They aren't great dips. They're horrible dips out here, but you got to take what you can get. GEX going to put some pressure onto Polish Power. Finally, this shack finds an edge of the circle where you have to leave it, so it's going to be smokes and other things for Polish Power to try to get out. I mean, like you were saying, Tianba's just, I don't know what you do from there, Matt. That's tough.
Yeah, if you're going to make the vehicle for it, you got to do it a little bit later,
oh, God.
I think. But Petrichor Road going to be running right into GEX. This is outside the zone. It's also going to be right where we saw Polish Power just a second ago. Spray is going to start coming up. Shots going to be coming in at range as Nail Up is going to be able to take out that flush. Remember, they have vision onto this angle. Petrichor Road now running much more loose. It looks like they're going to, Ixlef's going to be going right down next to the shack, spraying into it. He's going to go down. It's going to be Savior that gets the vision in, as well as picking up another member of Polish Power. This is coming apart over here, but we did see Petrichor Road manage to bypass most of this with the distractions that Ixlef managed to set up, so they are now gatekeeping out this firefight as GX still needs to move forward. Nades are going to come into it. Norcus is still alive, but it's not going to be for too much longer as Savior now has to make the send in and does get the knock. This is really problematic for Petrichor Road.
Yeah, that was a great little grenade there attempt by Norcus to use his teammate as bait. He put it right on his teammate, hoping that they'd be going for the flush, but it's chicken dinner. You don't need to go for the flush here. It doesn't matter. Xenon still alive, still holding on. Norcus continues to throw stuns on the outside. It's buying him a little bit of time, but that door is still shut. An angle down into the shack. It's going to be good for Yan Li and GEX.
That 1v1, though, bought the time for Long to reposition right over here next to Ming, so couldn't get the res onto it. New Happy doesn't have the angle. GEX stalled out, still outside of the zone, has to move in. Long's got to figure out, okay, what do I do? He's going to start tossing out some nades. Going to connect on a good shot. Actually, that's going to be support at range. It's going to be Entropic that's making sure to punish this one. So really, it's just on to Long to try to hold it on weakened team members that are going to be coming in. Smoke's out. How is he going to try to handle this? I don't think that he knows how close this is.
No, this is tough. This is really,
SSR
really tough.
is right next to him.
I think SSR has a much better idea of his enemy's position, and yep, it just sprays him right in the behind, and that's going to be Petrichor Road down into 14th. SSR, the sole survivor for GEX, but he has the entirety of the southern basically quarter of the map to himself. If you look at the map, I mean, there is New Happy on the east, and you've got Entropic and USG out to the west, but they're a good couple hundred meters away.
Here it goes. Severny Exodus now starting off. SGD, they've got that position that they can rotate away from easiest, but guess what? It's also going to be USG that took over one of the sections of Crossroads right next to Entropic, so they're going to get some vision on this rotation. Remember how we were talking about where do you even go? Well, that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
Hey, there's a car forward there already.
That shotgun could have had an idea that was going to go off for it, but instead coming into a very nice position that was already pre-set up. We saw a second ago Sonics also trying to make a push into phase, as we still have not a lot of the Exodus continuing with BBL and Burram not making their moves just yet.
I think the Sonics have to fight this, so it's going to be pre-grenades out from FaZe Clan. They kind of know it. Sonics pull up short. Their smoke's already out, so it obscures their exact positions, but you can kind of guess, based on the sounds of the cars, where their players are. Now that UAZ is starting to slip out into the open, and that's going to punish Mime there by Feck. Really nice shooting, and they're just going to wipe him out.
Wow, they were making sure that Mime was gone from this lobby. Sonics now needing to move in and just cannot find an opening in FaZe's line of defense. Throwable's now going to come out. That's going to be Tiggleton going down as well. Diggory, Diggory, I got to say, he's having some moments this last week.
Oh, those grenades could be really, really good. The first one for Shrimsy, no, the second one doesn't get into the window, so he's not able to find anything. It's going to be a Herculean task if Shrimsy can get this done. Oh, God, here comes BBL now.
They're trying to exploit. They just roll right into this. They are going to connect with some of these shots, and now Gustav trying to defend up. Backside of this one is going to connect. Diggory's going to go down. So looking at the two, AC now moving forward into BBL. Code Marco is going to be on the opposite side around from this one. Last one up, so it is a 2v1 in an expected crash. Code Marco trying to get some more information. Blinded out. He's going to go down, and now FaZe continues to keep control of this location.
An absolutely beautiful hold from FaZe. USG trying to cross the street. They made the smoke wall and trying to get in. The stuns are going to come through. Luca X is hurt. BGB has to hold Bago Pa out. Or excuse me, the other way around. Burram has to try to get through Bago Pa. Pio, grenade up and over, going to underhand it. This one has to be really, really good, and it is. It's cheeksing down. Burram still struggling to get through.
DG98 and Pio trying to line up on opposite sides of the hills. Nawadra is getting in the vehicle, and it looks like he's cutting a different path, but that's going to be over FaZe's angle. That might not work too well for him. Instead, silence now starting to settle in as everybody's trying to listen to footsteps. Nawadra trying to use this angle over here. He does that and have that hill. Instead, it's going to be Pio that pushes the smokes, trying to creep into this one, and this is such a massive play coming out from Pio. I don't even think that Burram is expecting the spray's going to come out. They did read it. They get the drop onto him, and now it is just DG98 over here, and he still has to contend with Nawadra on the other side. This is going to be a massive, massive struggle to stay alive in this position.
Oh, that flank out from Nawadra was huge. That information so critical there for Burram to be in a position to be ready for Pio's flank around their their right-hand side. DG, one of the best threats. They res Pio. Well, now they knock DG, but they saw Pio go behind, and it's going to be a quick end for Bago Pa there in that fight. Canaxi doing a wonderful job, but a lot of the credit has to go to Nawadra's reposition.
FaZe hears this, and they're moving in aggressively back behind Burram, not giving them a chance to try to do anything. Tyloo still in position, can't really step their way out of this. But Gustav takes a lot of damage, though, and has to try to step back away from this firefight for just 1 second. While this is going on, we also do have Entropic that's taking some shots at SGD, as well as Gex. SSR still trying to move into the zone. Outside of this, we still have T5 and New Happy that are going to get involved in a fight. So FaZe trying to figure out how they're going to control the top of this best did not get a chance to exploit the downs on Burram.
FaZe can play safe, though, so I think they're going to be okay. Wait for this fight to kick off between Tyloo and Buriram. Maybe poke at it a little bit, do some damage, and just kind of hold on, because T5 has to continue to keep New Happy barricaded. Eventually, they're going to have to come down that hill from that warehouse. That's a challenging task, no doubt about it. I mean, SGD got the gift of a lifetime from Tianba's Carfort there. That gave them a lot of extra cover and a lot of extra space to work with.
That is just like destiny lined up for them. Entropic getting some vision on Buriram, taking those shots. Tyloo looks like they're wanting to get more active in this position. FaZe did step very far back to the northeast to kind of give them some space to work around. Entropic is trying to venture in here, and now New Happy, they have got to make their move, and it looks like it's going to be a southern push. SSR into Entropic, into SGD's position. This is a full-on car just rolling down this hillside. Who's going to take the shots first? As Entropic is going to go down. It's a combined effort coming up from Canaxi and Sophia both. Now, rolling right into this. SSR is not going to have vision based off this hillside, but where's New Happy going to go? They're just going to choose this rock, hope that it's going to be safe enough, and stop here. SSR, you go in which direction?
Matt,
SGD?
I don't know if they saw him. I don't know if they saw him. I'm not sure. Maybe with those smokes, maybe they did. Well, now Sophia gets the knock onto Edie. 2 health here for Sophia up and over, and Noadra right away able to get the drop onto him. Leo with the follow-up, pretty darn good. Canaxi trying to spray along the hill line to find the headshot. It's Jervis's grenade that's going to finish 2 members of Buriram. Canaxi in the smokes, wounded, but still in the circle. Nope, that grenade is good from Shen. A great finish, but here comes the flank from New Happy.
New Happy looked like they were trying to extend into that, but then had to pump the brakes onto it. FaZe kind of surrendering this position over into the west for Buriram has kind of spelled their own doom. Like, FaZe now gets control over the north. Tyloo's not making any moves, so with all the firefighting that's happening right now, FaZe is just kind of letting all the other teams eat each other.
It's smart from FaZe. I love the way they're playing this. They played some great defense against 2 really good squads that try to breach them. BBL try to take advantage of the Sonic's initial push. Just a huge hold from FaZe. They get all 4 up. I mean, that is magical. Now you're looking at a couple different squads that have really strong remaining forces. Tyloo going to be in a decent spot. FaZe right on the edge, so they're going to have to move forward ever so slightly. T5 has to continue to make their way downhill, and New Happy and SGD have to find a way in.
Tyloo's been playing this really, really passive due to hearing FaZe and how they moved in, but they've got to be careful. There's going to be a couple of teams that might want to move into their vector. T5, they're opposite side of the circle, but New Happy, it feels like they keep trying to wrap that western way right where SGD is. So while Tyloo do have this hillside that's blocking out a lot of the vision, that's how come FaZe can't really see what's going on. Opposite side of the hill, Tyloo can't really see them either. SGD, T5, it's just the slow slope of the hillside that's kind of differentiating where all these teams are at and denying sightlines for firefighting.
Yeah, New Happy, I think, would prefer to kind of stay on the bottom of this hill, so they have to use SGD as sort of a battering ram into this next circle to try to break it open for them and hope that T5 tries to fight FaZe or gets caught up in their rotation down, but I think T5 is relatively safe from FaZe's angles, I believe. So New Happy has to load up in the vehicle and has to make a move, and wherever they go, Matt, it's dangerous.
New Happy, you choose to go away from T5, but they do not care. Already going to get one of them down. Leo's got an angle on the other side. Zipion just trying to send it, going by the tree. He's going to hop out. Doesn't matter. The vehicle is not going to explode until after you're dead.
Yeah, just no one really making a move fast enough for New Happy to do anything, to follow up on it, to kind of find a timing there. So now T5 knows they have SGD down to 2. They're going to push down this hill, clear out this space, and then give themselves a really good chance to win this grenade right up in their faces, though. Happy Feet are going to keep them healthy.
T5 just kind of juking around this. Tyloo and FaZe both just kind of sitting, resting, taking a couple of pot shots at each other. Nothing big. How is this bounce gonna go? Flashbang does connect, but they don't really want to exploit it just yet. Trying to get some vision in. Ranger does get a knock onto 8C, so it looks like that smidgen of the hill that they're working around is going to get some vision into FaZe.
Yeah, this is a little bit difficult for FaZe with that knock, but it looks like Tyloo isn't going to push off of it too much. Ranger X continuing to put the pressure down up to his north. Rossida Jr., the veteran for Theraton 5, the long-time PUBG pro, trying to lead the way here, and they've got him under their sights, and they've got him out. SGD falls in 4th.
Tyloo is still taking harassing shots into FaZe, making it as complicated as possible to try to get their res, but they do accomplish it. So we are looking at a 4v4v3. Tyloo still inside the circle, FaZe in the circle, but yet again, it's going to be T5 having to chase it down.
it's going to be tough here for T5. They're the ones who have to make a maneuver. They're the ones who have to find some kind of rotation. I assume they're going to try to go east or just take a fight to Tyloo and somehow hope they can win back-to-back fights, because FaZe surely will be keen to capitalize if they force an engagement on the western edge. And you can see they're grouping up, trying to figure out how they want to do this, sharing the loot, spreading the love, and then they've got some vehicles to make some kind of maneuver. What is it going to look like for T5? What strategy have they cooked up here in maybe the most important moment they'll play in their esports careers?
Smokes are now starting to line up onto it. Are they just trying to get a running start with their vehicles? Yep, that looks to be the play. Leave one back behind to try to cover it. Which way are they going to go? This could spell pretty much how the game is going to happen. They're just sending it down to a tree, making the path. Do manage to get there. FaZe, though, Gustav does get a knock onto one of them. Molotov's now going to start coming out. Throwables now in range as we do see T5 move into this position, but it is just narrowly out of throwable range for both of them.
Look at the way Vex lines up those mollies. 2 to make sure they can't push up, and then the frag to follow behind. And then it's just a shooting gallery for FaZe. They've got 3 of them knocked, 1 left to go. Ranger X hurt but not out. Tyloo trying to see if they can capitalize.
Creeping in back behind this, but it's going to be AC that is trying to defend up for his team. He's got to make sure he holds this flank. Otherwise, what FaZe is trying to do is going to come apart, and he manages to get a knock onto one. Spray at Tongs is going to make sure to dissuade any forward movement. Leaning back around into it, he picks up Tongs too. FaZe trying to fight their way through this one right now, taking on 2 different teams at the same time. While Vex is down, AC does survive off this position. T5 now trying to commit into the res as we're going to be moving into Circle 9 in just 10 seconds.
I don't know if the molly got shot out of Tong's hands or he had one in it when he got knocked, but that was devastating there. Zhao Yang just going to have to prone and wait. Some decent damage from Ranger X. Patapong is back up and running. How did that not get him? He is on a sliver of HP left. He's able to prone and get to the hill and not die. Diggory has been knocked. Zhao Yang trying to break the flanks of FaZe.
Still trying to creep into that angle where we see AC at, but AC instead going to try to regroup, realizing the fact that it is a 3v2v1. Leaning in, they want to get Diggory back up. Zhao Yang, though, is still playing this so quietly. Everybody's dropped down to their bellies, and while yes, FaZe does have the numbers advantage, information is going to be risky. Any heads popping up are going to get spotted. Good vision coming out from Vex. Now in a 4v2. Are they just going to make the bold push? It looks like that's what's going to happen as T5 steps up, does get the down on Diggory, but now it's just Ranger X. FaZe does manage to pick up their chicken dinner and is going to the grand finals.
Did you ever doubt it that this team does not have the magic? Well, you shouldn't have, because they absolutely do have the magic. It's FaZe. It may not be Sunday, but these guys always find a way to get into the grand finals.
Yeah, coming up big off of that one. Now, just 1 game left. You can see, again, relief just mounting for these guys. That was going to be a potential 2nd game, getting right into the end game. So good job on making sure to pick it up, and that's...
Every time, Matt. It just never fails. FaZe just, it's nail biting, but they find a way. They find a way for sure, and they've been playing so good the last couple days. This is a well-deserved win. They have been playing so smart, so solid. They just needed to kind of get their team fighting together, and sure as hell in this game, they team fought so well.
Oh, man, they just got to make us sweat for it, don't they? They just can't, like, alleviate the stress coming in this one. I need a minute, dude. This is just so much moving into the last game. Remember, everybody, we got to switch out FaZe's position, bring in Gen G. It's going to take us a few minutes, but we're going to pass it over to the desk.